Was that your first stop in the States? New York?
My first stop. I was in Vancouver, went to Montreal, made $600.
Yeah.
Switched it into $400 American. Got on a train, had no place to stay, and said, I'm not going back to Canada.
No.
Came completely illegal.
Yeah.
Lived in a youth hostel.
Okay.
$14 a night. Found that youth hostel when I got off the train in New York. There was a piece of paper lying on the ground. Honest to God, it was like...
I mean, you must have been young.
I was 23.
Because now, as you get older, you can't put yourself through that type of shit anymore.
No, but you should put yourself through that kind of shit when you're young. Yeah.
23, stayed at the youth hostel you found at the train station.
Yep.
And did you have any concern with the visa and customs and all that?
I was completely legal. I told them on the train when they had talked to me, they said, where are you going? What are you doing? I said, I'm a writer. I'm going down to just write about New York.
Okay.
Okay. And they looked at my books. I still had all my comedy books.
Rex.
But luckily, I had doctor handwriting, and they couldn't understand what was being written.
Sure.
So, and then...
you were there for 5 years.
5 years.
Did you leave the United States? Because if you're there illegally, it's tough to leave.
Well, what happened was I knew a guy named Lucian Hold who owned the comic strip.
Okay.
And he had seen me, and he said, if you come down, I'll put you on.
Okay.
So I called him up, and he gave me spots right away.
That's amazing.
Paid me $25 under the table.
I mean, but everyone says they're going to help you, and no one ever helps you.
Nobody
he
ever
actually
helps me.
did it.
He actually put me on stage. He said, I'll put you on stage. And I got my ass handed to me for the first week. I got my ass handed to me like you wouldn't believe. And then I just kind of, okay. Yeah. And then about a month into it, he said, I'm going to put you on tonight at a different time. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And Conan was doing a showcase right after my set. And he made sure that the Conan people see me.
That's nice.
And they put me on Conan and got me my work papers.
Oh, fuck. That is such a big break,
That's the biggest,
Because once you have a TV set, now you can submit and say, like, I'm an artist, and I have this is the O1 visa or whatever.
But also, they and an agent wrote on, this is why we want him here. We want him to do TV.
I see.
So that also,
God.
So, and then I was on an O1 visa for 15 years.
I was going to say, I thought that O1 was only a 3-year visa.
I had 5 of them.
Could you just keep renewing it or what?
Mm-hmm. And my last one was a hellish event.
Yeah.
The lawyer forgot to put who was sponsoring me on it. They forgot to send that letter.
Okay.
He also spelled my name wrong and also said I was a scientist. I got a letter in the mail.
You're a social scientist.
I got a letter in the mail saying, can you be out of the country by this date because we're no longer renewing your visa.
Well, that's what I kind of remember I remember just seeing you around all the time. I always loved watching you perform, and then all of a sudden you were just gone. I was like, where's Ian? And you know, it's such a funny business. People come and go, but like you had to fucking leave.
I had to leave. And who I'm married to now, I just met my wife.
Yeah.
I'd been with her for a year.
Yeah, and she's a special ed teacher?
No, she's an occupational therapist.
Okay,
which is the same thing.
Same thing.
Same thing. Yeah. So basically, I'm a case study.
Yeah.
But she had just moved in with me, and I get this letter.
Oh my!
And she's like, "Who are you? What are you about?" This is 2010.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2010. Yeah. I went to.
So where'd you get? What do you do?
I went to Vancouver. I got a new lawyer. Spent all my savings that I'd built up. Lost all my work for a month and a half.
Yeah.
Basically went broke. But the first 2 weeks I spent at the Olympics in Vancouver for the Winter Olympics and had a great time. And then after that it was depression.
And did you ever? Because Canada's a great country. Did you ever just say, "What am I doing down here? Well, why don't I just?" No, you always wanted to be down here.
I knew if I was out down here, I was going into another career.
Yeah.
I knew I wasn't going back into stand-up. I just being around there, I'm like, nope, this isn't it. This is a playground. This isn't. You know, this is a rink in the middle of the. It's not the arena.
I don't think. I know as an American, I totally take it for granted how difficult it is to work here. And I go up to the Comedy Mix in Vancouver or Montreal, and I talk to these guys, and they're like, I want out, but I can't do it. Yeah. I don't, and unless you want to live in a youth hostel and be 23 and lie for 15 years, it's fucking hard.
No, they hate me. They hate me. I'm being absolutely serious. The Canadian comics, just a lot of them despise me because I made it out.
Because you made it out.
Yeah, there's like, why did he get to go?
Yeah. Well, because
I put the effort in.
Yeah, he put the effort. Well, and I talked to Lachlan Patterson. You've been on the show.
Thing.
It's like the same thing. He's like, one day I got a letter and I had to fucking leave for 6 weeks. It just sucks. God, that must suck. It must be hard to focus on your art. If you're, when you're like being kicked out of the country.
It was an interesting time.
Yeah.
It was a lot of questions going on, like a lot of will I ever be here again?
Yeah.
And I also had that confidence. I'll be back. I don't care. We'll figure it out.
I mean, if you have to have the confidence that you're funny, which helps obviously, but you also need like lawyer and money.
And I just happened to have made a bunch of money.
On what?
I can't remember.
You were just you had some cash.
You know what? I had some cash from some pilot that I did, and spent it all on a lawyer. You know, like it cost me $15,000 for the lawyer.
Yeah,
of course. It cost me a month, 6 weeks worth of work where I made no money. It cost me to keep my a lifestyle in Los Angeles.
Yeah, because you have to keep your apartment. You're living with your girl.
And then I also have to live while I'm in Canada. So you know, it's.
Where'd you go home to? Like, is your family in Vancouver?
No, they're north of Vancouver. Okay. They're in a place called Terrace, British Columbia, up near Ketchikan, Alaska.
It's deep up there.
Oh,
right?
It's deep.
Yeah, and that's. I mean, that's amazing.
I'm not going to live in mom and dad's basement to do stand up in a logging village. You know what I mean? So
the logging village. I love this outfit. We got a little Vancouver. We got a little Aspen. That's where I think we met, right? Tell me.
This hoodie is when I first met you. We were all on that. We were on one. What it was? We were a group together.
This was 2008 HBO Comedy Fest, 2007.
The last one.
We shut it down.
Yeah,
we shut it down.
Yeah, we blew it up. And then the guy that ran it also punched his wife in the face at a boxing fight.
I didn't know that's what happened.
Yeah. Chris Albrecht got into a little bit of a scrap
with his wife.
When he was he ran HBO.
Yes.
And he loved that festival.
He loved skiing and all that shit.
Yeah, he loved being snowed out of things. So, but we shut it down. But I was wearing this. I remember, the two people that I remember from that are you and TJ Miller.
Yeah,
I remember you making me laugh so hard, and
that's nice.
And I remember TJ Miller being the most fearless person I'd ever seen on stage. I just I don't know if this guy's funny or not. But holy shit, he can just jump.
I was just talking about him with somebody, and I was like, I never really know what I'm watching, but I'm watching. You know what I mean? Like it's
fearless.
Weird. Yeah, it's crazy.
Absolutely, and it's when you hear about his auditions. Well, he brought a bear in to talk. I'm just like, this guy is. It's so much respect. It's a little bit of jealousy because I wish I had that fear that wasn't there for everything. But he's so good. And then you just made me laugh. And then I remember meeting your parents, and your mom was hot. Anyways.
That's typical comic right there. If you pay a compliment, you gotta
take them down.
Well, I told my parents not to come to Aspen because I was so new to the business. I didn't know what was going on. I knew that there's going to be people there that I love to watch. I watched you. I watched Tosh. I watched like everyone.
Was Tosh there?
Tosh was doing a small theater show, I think, maybe a big theater show. Yeah, he was there. Huh. Yeah, so I just loved. And I was like, Mom and Dad, I don't want you there. I don't want and of course I pull into the first night of the show, and who do I see waiting in line is John and Jan Kosta.
That's
you
awesome.
motherfuckers. But
with a sign, our sons, Michael Kosta.
So yeah, that is where I met you, and weren't we all supposed to live together and like videotape it, and then
but
you said fuck that.
That was sold to you guys. What was sold to me was we want to do this thing, and I pitched them a completely different idea about a guy that shows up to Aspen, who doesn't have any shows.
Right. Okay.
and they're like, what? And I'm like, it's just a guy that shows up to Aspen trying to get on, and they're like, okay.
Yeah.
And then I had these other people. We were supposed to do this. And I was like, I was never told that.
That was funny because my first introduction to you was like, no, Ian didn't let you do the thing you wanted to do, and I was like, oh, I didn't even know you.
Right.
I didn't even know you.
I didn't even know that other people were asked to do it.
Yeah,
that's what's funny about it.
It was supposed to be, or at least they said. I lived with Eric Andre. That was a trip. I mean, at a ski resort in Aspen, I'm living with Eric Andre. It was just funny. But anyway,
was he on those shows too?
He was on the shows too. I think
was he on ours?
Yeah. Well. Yeah, I mean, you were like leaps and bounds above everybody, and then it was like all these young people. I mean, not that you weren't young, but you had been in the business a long time and like, knew what the fuck you were doing. So it was me, you, TJ Miller, Eric Andre, Kurt Fox, Shane Moss, Harry Kondabula, I'm saying his name wrong, bunch of other people that I can't think of.
But it wasn't
Dan Bolger.
Those guys weren't on our because we were groups of four.
Yeah, we were in the same group of four.
But those guys weren't with us, were they?
No,
because I remember just happened to walking by and seeing TJ because I was busy filming this other thing.
Yeah.
And I seen TJ and I was like, what is this?
What is that?
And then
thing?
I was like, I got to watch that again. And then I watched it 3 times. I'm like, this guy's fearless.
Yeah.
And I just remember you were the only one I don't know who else was with us, and I don't.
Well, I also said my name 100 times on stage.
That's what I agree. But I would remember. I just laugh and then have to follow you or go before you, and I just remember watching you either way.
It was fun. The Aspen Comedy Festival, ladies and gentlemen, was a great thing. It's done.
It was.
It's done now because no one could fly. Everyone got snowed in,
and they just took the finances away, which always ruins a festival.
Hurts. When is your birthday?
My birthday is November 6th.
November 6th.
Yeah.
Okay, so I feel like you've had probably a lot of interesting birthdays with the visa and the country or maybe not.
I've had. I think I may have been Jehovah's Witness in another life.
Yeah.
Because I kind of ignore my birthdays.
Yeah, you do.
Pretend it don't happen. I don't let anybody know.
But what about as a kid?
As a kid, I loved them as well.
Yeah.
I remember my worst birthday.
Tell me.
My worst birthday was my 10th birthday.
Okay. How do you clearly remember this?
Oh, this one, it still affects me to this day.
Yeah.
So we had a pizza party.
November 6th?
November 6th.
Okay.
So in northern Canada, it is cold.
Yeah.
Everybody cancels all the time.
How far away are you from Alaska, from America?
There's a place called Hyder, Alaska, which is an hour away.
An hour.
Yeah, but we're on the Panhandle, so it's not like it's pretty crazy, but it's not like deep. I don't know how it's stupid.
It's small. How many people live there?
12,000. Okay, and everybody goes, "Oh, that's not too bad." And I go, "No, you don't get it. That's 12,000, and then there's nothing for hours and hours. It's not like you just drive out and then there's another town. No, you drive out and there's woods."
So you were supposed to be a logger then?
I was supposed to be a logger. I was working in a mine when I first started doing stand-up.
What kind of mine?
A gold mine.
Holy shit!
Yeah, I worked in the blasting industry, so I was in explosives, and I was going to go to school.
Yeah,
and I was going to become an implosion. I wanted to learn how to do implosions. Is what I wanted to do.
This is insane.
So, yeah. And then I started on an open mic, and I never went back to school.
Where was the open mic?
Vancouver, at a place called the Punchline.
Okay, so you
Punchlines.
You drove down to Vancouver for that.
We went to Vancouver.
Yeah.
Me and my buddy Trent, he was going to become a rock star, and I was going to go become a blaster.
Okay.
I was going to become an explosives expert.
That would have been a sweet. You could have done the pyrotechnics at his show.
I would have loved that. I would have been good at it. He would have lost a lot of guys in his band. Anyways, and I just never went back to school.
That was it?
Yeah, I did an open mic, and I was just like, this is it. This is what I'm supposed to do. And
God, that really is a crazy story. Is there anyone in entertainment from your area ever?
No. So
that's it.
There was hockey players.
Yeah, sure.
But there was nobody in entertainment, so there was no game plan that you could have because there was no. To me, and I've said this before, getting into show business was like an Archie comic. You know how the limo pulled up. And, I like the way you walk down the street. You want to be in show business?
Right.
That's how I thought it happened.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. All right, so your 10th birthday was
10th birthday. Yeah.
What happened?
So we go to the pizza patio.
Okay.
And
it's always got some terrible name, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Still there?
No. I think it burnt down.
Okay.
Yeah. So we go to the pizza patio. There's me. There's Brian McConnell.
Okay.
There's Chris Halser. There's Kip Lindsay. And,
hey guys.
Luke Eads.
Yeah.
And Luke Eads I haven't seen for years. Hope you're still alive, buddy.
Yeah.
Don't know.
By the way, is Trent in a rock band now? What does Trent do?
Actually, Trent became he's Mr. Brady. He's an architect.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which doesn't make sense because Trent's lost his mind more than anybody else I've ever known. Mr. Brady was always calm. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's got to be houses out there
sure.
that have guitars in the walls for no apparent reason. So we go there, and there's my mom and my dad.
Yep.
And you're allowed to make your own pizzas there.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is nice.
It's crazy. So,
like how serious you're getting. Like this was when you were 10. This is big.
This is big.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a birthday. There's gonna be cake. There's probably gonna be some presents.
Yeah.
My God, I'm wearing a turtleneck.
Okay. Well, it's got to be freezing, and it's dark as shit, right?
It's already dark. It's probably this birthday party is probably happening at 3 p.m.
Yeah.
3:15. It's dark.
Yeah.
So
There really is very little light, right?
Yeah. We were up at Christmas. Me and my wife went home to my parents' house at Christmas time.
Yeah.
I woke up at 9 o'clock. I'm like, it's got to be 4 in the morning. It's like 9.
It's pitch black.
Yeah. So.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's
So
crazy.
we slept the whole time and just ate the whole time we were there. Did nothing. But. But the fact that it gets dark, I'm having a night party for my 10th birthday.
Sure.
Like
3:15.
There's gonna be. I think there's bottomless soda at this point.
Yeah.
Like
amazing.
everybody's getting crazy, sugar highs, everybody's running.
Yep.
We make these pizzas. I make a pineapple. I think it's called a Hawaiian pineapple and ham.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, we call them because we call Hawaiian pineapple and ham, but then you guys have this weird Canadian bacon thing. Is that a real thing?
No, that's not a real thing.
That's an
only down
American
here.
thing.
Yeah.
So you saw Canadian bacon down here and like, what the fuck is this?
Oh, well, I remember when I seen Canadian bacon for the first time, I'm like, that's not bacon, that's a piece of ham. I was like so annoyed. I'm like, no, Canadian bacon is crispy.
Yeah, it's like the way our bacon is.
It's exactly the way.
Why did we do that? Who did that, I wonder?
I'm sure some Canadian hockey player came down one time and said, oh, give me the bacon. Hey, baby. And you're like, whatever, farm boy. So something happened, but it's not Canadian bacon.
Yeah.
And I refuse. McDonald's take it off the menu.
Yep.
So
you make this Hawaiian pizza, 10th birthday
Hawaiian
pizza patty.
Yes. We're playing around and making pizzas and having a good time. And I'm just like so excited. I made my own pizza.
Yeah.
I eat this pizza way too quick.
There we go.
Just way too quick.
Here we go.
That's right. Guess who barfed on the table at his 10th birthday party? I can still not, to this day, I cannot have a pineapple.
You can't do Hawaiian pizza?
No, just instantly,
Really?
just bad times. In my head, I just start to cry.
It's like every time I have tequila, it's like I can't do it anymore because of one time you puked on it.
Oh, yeah, basically.
Same.
But it also brings up the memories of a birthday party that went wrong. That went awry as a 10-year-old boy.
Was there gifts, or was it like once you puked?
I don't remember it. I don't remember anything from it. I just remember crying. That's
all.
And when you cry, when you're a man and you remember crying as a child, you just don't remember those times. So if you ask me when my birthday was, 10th birthday, pizza patio. Chris Halser, Brian McConnell, Luke Eads, Kip Lindsay.
I feel like it's not so uncommon when somebody pukes. Like
as a kid?
Like as a kid.
No, not at all.
So somebody there cleaned up the puke.
Yeah.
You don't know who that was?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Michelle Sloklicovitz's dad. I think he owned the joint.
Oh, shit. It's one of those towns where everybody, you know everything.
Well, it's one of those towns where you hear there's road rage, and I'm like,
yeah.
Like, how can there be road rage? You know where to go talk to them. You know whose house. Go over and tell their mom that they weren't driving well. You know what I mean?
Is this a big gun? Are there a lot of guns up there? Hunting, maybe?
Yeah, there's a lot of hunting, but a lot of fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not huge gun, but it gets gun.
And in the summer, it's light all the time.
Light all the time.
So how does that affect your life as a kid?
As a 10-year-old, I remember having to go to bed at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
And people were still outside playing baseball for the next 3-4 hours.
Isn't that
because
crazy?
The sun didn't go down. Yeah.
Yeah, my dad.
I think 11:30 was the latest the sun would go down.
That is nuts.
Yeah.
And winter must kind of suck. It must be depressing.
Winter, well, it's great because we played hockey. We love it. I remember just being out all the time, no matter what. I remember wearing cords, and it would get so cold that you would have lines in your legs.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I remember this, and it never affected you. It just never affected you.
And as a kid, you don't seem to even give a shit about anything, right?
No.
You just do whatever. It's just, that's all you know.
I'm sure the adults were not having fun.
Yeah.
I'm sure they were depressed.
Is it a big drinking town? People drink?
Yeah.
Alaska's like that too, man.
Yeah.
Really a lot.
I don't know. I don't know as much anymore, but a lot of smokers there too. When I grew up, I remember the smoking.
Did your parents smoke or anything?
They did when I was really young, but they didn't. They had quit by the time I was like. I think they quit when I was born or something like that. So.
Do you have siblings?
I have a sister. Yep.
Older or younger?
Younger.
Was she at your 10th birthday party?
No.
No, she wasn't.
No, she wasn't.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe she was. I don't remember her being there.
So really, all you remember is you made the pizza.
That's what was the great part. We made it ourselves.
And then you puked it up.
Yeah, and then it just I never wanted to make pizza again either.
And do you eat pizza now?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
But not Hawaiian.
Not Hawaiian. No, not the sweet and the salty. The sweet and the salty is a bad memory for me.
Did anybody sing you happy birthday?
I think the people of the restaurant, I remember us all wearing some sort of weird hat. I don't know whether it was a birthday hat or crowns. For some reason, I feel like we were wearing crowns.
Maybe the pizza. If I were to ask your mom or dad about this birthday party, would they remember it, do you think?
My mom would. My dad would probably be annoyed that you're asking him something.
Don't talk to me. Is he just one of those guys?
My dad is pretty cranky. I got him Alexa for Christmas.
What's that? Oh, that's the
Alexa.
Amazon.
Yeah. So, and we're up there, and this the family friend comes over, and he's about 18, but he's got a touch of the tism, this kid.
Okay.
And he starts asking.
I don't even know what that means, but I'm excited to hear.
He's got autism.
Retardism.
So,
autism.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's a retardism. Either way, he's got a touch of the tism, but he's asking Alexa all these questions.
Oh shit!
And I swear, my dad just got up and left the room.
He couldn't take it.
And then came back later and he goes, "Nobody else uses my fucking Alexa, especially that fucking kid."
Are they cool, the Alexas?
I like it.
I mean, what do you do with it?
Yeah, you can. I use it. We use it for shopping. You can use it for shopping.
Hey, throw brown sugar on the list.
You can do the list, but you can also, if you shop on Amazon,
I see.
You can just go straight through Alexa's. Go, hey Amazon, find me, and then it'll tell you. So
hey Alexa, go to worstbirthday.com, click on Michael's Amazon banner, and then do the shopping because then we get a kickback.
Okay, good.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, absolutely, good. Yeah, I'm gonna do that from now on.
I feel like those voice-activated things never fucking know anything. You say put brown sugar on the thing, and they're like calling the bank, and it's just. But this
Round
one
Ruger.
Yeah. This one does good.
No, it does pretty good. It's also. I don't understand what you're talking about. My mom has an Australian accent, so she.
Really?
Yeah, she has my mom's Australian, my dad's Canadian.
Well, that makes sense if she has an Australian accent. Yeah.
Yeah. She just went on this trip once and would not let it go.
She couldn't get rid of it.
A lot of people get.
I tried to learn the English accent when I was like 11, but it turns out you have to actually learn to speak in that country.
True, but then those English actors come over here and then you're disappointed. You think they're the best Americans you've ever met, and then they turn out not to be. And I'm like, okay.
Is it
House?
House? He's Hugh Laurie.
Yeah,
English.
He's English. Yeah.
And what about the fucking Patrick Bateman? Christian Bale. Thank you, Aaron.
He's like
English.
Welsh or something, right? Yeah.
I always thought I was
It's funny. I was like, Christian Bale's real?
Yeah.
He's
thought,
way better than 50 Shades of Grey.
He is.
Oh, he's way better. Way harder.
Yes, way harder. Do you act? Do you do any acting?
I do. Yeah. I take acting classes, and
You do?
I have done some acting. I've done a couple. My big ones are I've done a couple kids movies.
Ooh, that's fun.
I did MVP 2, which is about a chimpanzee that plays hockey.
I need to see that. Okay,
it's one of the best shows you'll ever see.
Do you think? Because you just saw the Super. Did you watch Super Bowl yesterday?
I did watch the Super Bowl.
Okay, you're a hockey guy.
Yep.
Right? Is there? I mean, do you like football? Because to me, I actually think hockey's way cooler than football.
Hockey's way better. But I did watch the game. But let's be honest: is it a game or is it the best marketing tool ever of all time?
Well, yeah. But explain that by what you mean by that.
Usually, a game is played within 2 hours.
Correct.
Not 6.
With a continuous clock.
Yeah, and usually there's not a concert set up on the field in between halves. And I wonder how good the field is after the concert.
Oh, I was wondering that. Like they're shooting, batteries and drones in the air, and now it's like, well, I also yesterday during the game, the second quarter, I'm like, oh, there's 12 minutes left. This has gone really quickly. And then I was like, they're going to slow it down.
Right.
And then immediately it's like the second quarter lasted 9 hours. They sell you so many TV ads.
So it's the greatest marketing tool ever of all times.
Yeah. It is. And in hockey, these guys, they're changing on the fly. I love that.
Yeah, you keep the motion's going.
The motion is always going.
Yeah. I remember when they started putting in TV timeouts, people are like, what?
In hockey, they have TV timeouts.
They do have some TV timeouts.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They only have a couple per game. So, but people are like, nope, that's blasphemy. No.
Yeah, right.
But I don't know. You played sports. I'm curious what it does to have those slowdowns in a game and like physically and mentally.
Well, I'm always baffled at outfielders in baseball. I mean, they don't ever do anything. And then the ball gets hit to them in the 8th and they got to fucking whip the ball home. I mean, I know they're warming their arm up with every inning, but it's sometimes cold and
I'm surprised they don't pull hammies all the time running.
That's what I'm wondering. Because, I would need to, I played tennis last week and my back still hurts today, right? Like, obviously I'm older now, but I don't understand how a wide receiver they run a full sprint and then they get subbed out and they just stand there forever. But I guess they're Tom Brady's always warming his arm up, but hockey players they're always going, right?
There's a couple guys that are on the bench that don't
go.
They don't go. Like they're just
and they hand their stick over when someone else's stick.
Yeah,
breaks,
that's
right?
that guy.
I always wanted to know who that guy was.
Extra stick holder, but
he just folds the
but the fighter, the guy that fights, he may get one shift. He may not get a first shift until the second period.
And when he gets sent out, his job is to fight somebody, right?
His job,
or to fuck him up.
Yeah.
So and every team knows who that guy is, right?
Yeah.
So if you're
the guy that isn't playing much,
whose fucking jerseys,
who hasn't been on the ice, watch out for him.
So if he comes out, are people watching out for him?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
something's going down.
Yeah, and is his job to attack the best player, or just some guy?
Somebody's manhandling your team.
Yeah.
So you put out somebody to manhandle that team. It's
and this is allowed. I mean, it's known. It's allowed, right? This is the goon.
I don't know if they're goons anymore. You
Yeah.
used to be a goon, but you got to be able to play hockey. You don't want to put somebody on the ice that's going to cost you a goal, but you
trip over the blue line. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Which was funny. Did you see that playing the game yesterday where I think the guy, I think he snapped his Achilles or something, but remember that from the Patriots, he was running and then all of a sudden he just kind of...
Oh, yeah.
That
was crazy.
I was just like...
It looked like he was like just knocked out,
It looked like he tripped, right?
Yeah, and he just falls down and his arms...
Yeah, it was like, I'm like, that's the kind of thing. I'm like, I wonder if that was from him not playing or whatever.
Good
just
question.
All of a sudden, cold.
Well, you know what's interesting? We're going to be having on this podcast the punter from the Seattle Seahawks, John Ryan. Now, how does punters are always they're always just like in the corner kicking into some net.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like it's like you're fishing or something. They're always just and the kicker punters just seem like why wouldn't you tear your ACL every single time you kicked the ball? But
you would think.
Yeah.
And also my confusion with that is I don't understand why you need if you can kick the ball, shouldn't you be able to kick the ball? Like, shouldn't there just be one kicker?
Yeah, just one guy. Well, we can ask him, but
I'm sure you're going to get punched in the face for that. Don't take my job away. Pete Carroll's never thought of this.
They pay him a lot of money to fucking kick the ball.
He's a nice guy.
He isn't. You know, he's.
I've never met him.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But somebody through him. I did a fundraiser in my hometown.
Okay.
He sent a ball to be auctioned off.
Oh, that's great.
And then he also sent a check.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah,
this
like
fucking guy.
I respect that guy a lot.
Yeah. Well, he's Canadian. He's
from Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan. So when you
he looks like Gaffigan.
He does. Yeah, he does a little
every
bit.
time he.
But he's fucking dude.
Yeah, if Gaffigan was Jack, but Gaffigan played for Purdue.
What?
I think he was a walk-on.
Jim Gaffigan played football for Purdue.
I used to stay at Gaffigan's house all the time, and I remember seeing a picture of him. Unless he has got a brother that looks exactly like him, played. I think it was Purdue. Yeah.
Oh my God, I never would have known that. Yeah. Now you can't stay with him because he has only 15 kids.
No, he's only got 15 kids, and each of them has $1 million.
Yes, exactly. Right. How do you've been in the game a while. You're always very funny, but how do you not turn into a bitter asshole when you know you're funnier than someone, but then that person is making millions and millions of dollars? Not that
Gaffigan.
You're not I'm not saying
no,
Gaffigan, but I'm
no.
saying there are people that are probably wealthier than you that you know you're much funnier than. How do you?
I'm sure
how
you
do you
feel
handle
the same
this?
thing.
I know, but you've been in the game longer, so you have to deal with it more.
Okay. Well, you know what's funny is that you bring up bring up Gaffigan. You bring up that story. I remember Gaffigan saying to me, "How do you think you'll deal with it?" And I was like, "Deal with what?" He goes, "One day, somebody we know that you don't respect will win an Academy Award.
Yeah.
How will you deal with it?"
I love that he asked you that.
And I was like, I
clearly
never even thought of that.
He had faced that. Yeah.
Well, I remember when Gaffigan and I started out, he was doing all these commercials.
Yeah.
But he wasn't really getting stand-up respect.
Yeah.
I remember I would go on early at the Cellar, and he'd go on late at the comic strip. He would never. He would, and he was going on these weird clubs, and he was like, "Hey, it's a good show."
Was he doing the whisper voice?
Yeah, he was doing the whisper
voice. Okay, yeah.
This guy's weird.
This guy can't get booked at the comedy.
I remember I met him because of Bonnie McFarlane.
Yeah.
I got in a cab one day, and there's this guy. Me and Bonnie McFarlane are going down to do shows someplace, and there's this guy just. I'm like, who's this guy with the weird glasses?
Yeah.
And hey, I'm Jim Gaffigan, and we became buddies right away. And I just I don't.
He's very funny. Now he has tons of stand-up respect.
Oh, he's got tons, but he was always funny. But he was always funny. You just don't know when.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody gets their due.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they always get the most.
All that they deserve.
Right.
Yeah.
But you just can't give up because somebody else. You don't pay attention to people on the other side of you. I'm like, all respect. Anybody that can sell a ticket in this business.
Yeah.
Mad respect.
I mean,
I don't know how you do it.
It's just hard to sell tickets.
When some guys just, I just sold out 6 shows in a week, and I'm like, okay, I've kind of figured out how to get people into the building for Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
Thursday and Sunday, I get my ass handed to me.
It's nuts. It's nuts. Like Wednesday night, I'm in Hilarities in Cleveland, and I'm looking around, and you can just tell. I go, you guys are a fucking Groupon.
Yeah.
You guys are the Groupon audience. Because I
love Groupon.
I love them. Thank you, Groupon. But it's like, you can just, it's just hard to fucking sell tickets. Now, do you like the label that you sometimes get of crowd work comedian? Or do
I'm not a crowd worker.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, because when I watch you, it's like there's a formula, but it's just a little more dynamic and fluid, in my opinion. But tell me how you react to that.
I've been called a lot of things, and mostly an asshole. Because I honestly, if I don't know you, I'm a little hard to get to know.
Sure.
But I do like people, but I don't just like, some guys just give it up instantly. Like, Kreischer comes in the room, you're going to think you were buddies with him forever. But I'm more like, hey, what do you want from me kind of thing. So I will get to know you, but it just takes a while. And some guys just don't accept that. And he's an asshole. I'm like, no, I'm just kind of a little bit insecure and a little bit like confused about what's going on right now.
Like
and
the rest of us.
Yeah, and I don't understand these people that can be friends with somebody right away. And I think those are the people that get molested mostly.
Well, that's also probably where you come from. I find it weird when people are just so likable right out of the gate.
Right.
But everyone should have a little guard. But I don't. Maybe it's your parents. Maybe it's, I don't know. But like, do you write material, or do you? I mean, are you sitting in your joke book now writing?
No, I don't sit in my joke book. I write on stage, but I write, and I also my thing is about the more information I have about the world.
Yeah.
The more material I have, because it may not pop to me as I'm sitting watching something or reading something.
Yeah.
But if somebody says something, I see the joke immediately.
Yeah, right.
So that's how that works.
Yeah. So you kind of try to absorb all this information, and hopefully at some point it gets triggered and you can say it.
Yeah, you can never have too much information.
Yeah.
Like, I love a guy that'll go into the crowd and just won't know what somebody's talking about. I'm just like, you look like a complete tool right now.
Right.
So because they're trying to force it into a joke that they have.
Yes.
I'm not forcing it into a joke. I guess I am kind of a crowd work guy, but
I have the utmost respect for that. I mean,
I don't not have it. But I don't think I'm an MC crowd work guy. I think I'm more Jonathan Winters, where I take an idea and just kind of run with it.
Sure. I think that's way better description. I think it's like a crowd. Hey, where are you from? Joke about that place. That's not what you're doing. You've got a bunch of material that's in this brain of yours, and you kind of start weaving, and you can pull from it. You also must have a great memory.
Sometimes.
Do you remember that you puked on your 10th birthday? Mm-hmm. Do you remember your 11th birthday?
No.
Do you remember last November 6th?
Yeah.
What was that?
That was me on stage someplace.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. I remember. I kind of don't tell it. I was in Vancouver.
Yeah.
I was in Vancouver.
Would your wife say you have a good memory?
She would say for certain things.
For certain things.
For certain things, like. But sometimes I'm not good with names. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, I really have to, when we go to auditions, it's a struggle for me to take other people's words and put them the way they want them put. And
they're usually terribly written.
Just terrible. Una papa.
Oh yeah, I know that one.
Yeah.
They're usually terribly written. Yeah, so that's hard for you, but not. I mean, I feel like I've seen you perform so many times, and every time I watch you, I will hear a joke that you hadn't done yet.
Right.
So that to me seems like you can pull these things out of your memory that are maybe you haven't done for a year. Is that true?
Yeah. But
That's crazy.
I associate.
You got the tism.
I definitely have the tism. Which would make why I'm so standoffish. I would say that I have a great sense of humor. Mm-hmm. No, I don't. I have a great sense of
great.
I have a great attitude. I have a great, for things that are funny, I have a great memory.
Okay.
For things that I don't want to remember, or I just don't care about, no, they're gone.
And what makes you laugh? Like from you mentioned TJ stand up earlier, but like what are you watching now that Ian Bagg laughs at? It always fascinates me what makes a comedian laugh, because we don't laugh.
We don't. It's hard.
Have you seen Schitt's Creek?
I have not.
Okay, I heard it's funny. I don't know. It's Canadian.
I can't. I just, when I see a Canadian show, I can just see just the texture of the film. You can just it just reads.
It is
Canadian
different.
So
it is
much.
different, isn't it?
Yeah.
And even when you talk to like some of these Canadian comics up there, and they've done some TV stuff, even they don't have any confidence in it. Like they're like, we got paid like $14 for that.
Yeah. We got medical. We didn't even get money.
What is something that like does Louis C.K. make you laugh?
I don't watch many comedians.
Yeah. Okay.
Seinfeld opened for me on Thursday in New York. He went and did 40 minutes. He did 40 minutes before me.
How the fuck does that happen? He just showed up and asked? Did he ask?
I got there and they go, hey, Seinfeld's going to drop in and do 40. Is that okay? And I'm like, yeah, okay.
That's
like
fine.
Because I don't care. And people are like, did you watch? I go, I don't watch my openers.
Yeah.
So.
Did you guys chat at all?
Not at all.
He didn't even say thanks for letting me do 40 minutes.
I'm pretty sure he didn't know there was a headliner.
Yeah, he doesn't.
I'm sure he didn't care. And I'm just like that. But that to me, I'm just like, if I meet him, I'm not gonna rush myself and hey, I'm a headliner.
Yeah.
I'm just like I stood back. I'm sure he didn't even know that I was around.
And how was your set?
I had a great time. I did an hour after him.
I love it. I mean,
I kept this crowd there. So I was
do you hear that, every comedian out there? If somebody pops in and does time in front of you, don't fucking freak out. Just have confidence in your act. Have confidence in who you are, and just do a great job.
Just have fun.
Everybody's they get so like, yeah, he can't pop in on my show. Yeah, he can. He's Sir Jerry Seinfeld.
I come from the family of you don't leave funny on the side. I've always been like some guys might not get this, but I ask if I can get people on. Like people may have not got on the show because of the club. Yeah. But if I see a comic sitting and I'm like, does that guy want to go on? Because
that's nice.
You don't leave funny sitting on the side.
That is fantastic. Do you find, this is what I find.
So if they left on the side, I didn't think you're funny.
That means if you didn't get a spot, you're not funny. But I don't like, if it becomes a 2.5 hour show, now the audience is exhausted. But you're saying it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It's your job to make them feel comfortable.
Yeah.
So
I like that.
So I get being bored at something.
Yeah.
So you got to get them so they can feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And which is, I think, the best part about having a conversation with the audience is they're not stuck in their head.
Correct.
So if
they're being present moment now.
Right.
Yeah.
So
they're
now
answering your question.
And they are part of it, and maybe they forget about their butt being tired, or you know what I mean? It's not just boredom of I hated that movie Manchester by the Sea.
Yeah.
My manager loves it, and I'm just like, I was so fucking bored.
It was depressing.
But it was just one tone.
Yeah, it was one tone.
And I don't want my show to be one tone.
Yeah.
I wanted to take different directions.
Yeah.
And they even tried to go different directions, but they just kept it at one tone. I'm like, okay.
That was a sad movie. I saw that movie and A Dog's Purpose in the same week. Much different. Much different. You have some dogs.
I have 2 dogs.
Love your dogs.
We had Roxy. We lost Roxy last year,
I'm sorry.
and my God, that's my worst birthday ever.
Really?
She didn't die on my birthday, but
it just wiped you out.
Crushed. Just crushed.
And so how
died in my arms?
Oh my God!
She was 17.
Yeah.
So, which doesn't make it any. Everybody's like, she was 17. I'm like,
right.
Yeah,
but she's still not around.
We were our buddy. Yeah. We were buddies. So, but I had to get on a plane the next morning.
Well, that's what I was gonna ask you.
Go to fucking Washington D.C. and start selling tickets as soon as you got in the door.
Was it Arlington or
no? It was at the D.C. Improv.
The D.C. Improv,
which I really like, but
I heard it's great.
feel like the lady doesn't like me that books it. I'm just
you hear that?
If she's listening, I know you don't like me.
So tell me how you. That's hard to be funny when you're going through a personal loss, and obviously it's not a human being; it's a dog. But that must have been hard.
But that's our job, right?
That's our fucking job.
Our job is to make people forget about what they're feeling.
Yeah.
So,
even if I have diarrhea, which I've had on stage, and you just have to figure that out, right?
There's a guy in Canada that shit himself on the stage. He got off the stage. This is how good this guy was.
Shit.
Went to his car.
Was it Bobby Keel?
No. Jesus Christ.
I know.
It was at that generation. Larry Horowitz.
Okay. Hey, Larry. So he went to his car and shit himself.
He shit himself on stage. Said, "Excuse me." Had the MC come back on. And then went back, changed his pants, and came back on stage.
Oh my God.
But
I've been close.
I remember there were stories where they were like, "Well, is he a professional or is he just concerned he wasn't going to be paid for the gig?" So.
Oh man!
I remember one New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
In North Dakota, I don't know what that's horrible. I had the flu.
You were sick.
Yeah. And it was the only time I felt normal when I was on stage.
Well, that's what's weird. Something happens to our body where it takes over, and you can know. Like if I get sick,
right?
Or if I'm feeling sick, you go on stage. I'm normally pretty good.
Yeah.
Normally.
Did you?
I've never shit myself, but I've been close to having a problem. I've actually seen comics excuse themselves and go to the bathroom.
I left and went and took a leak once.
You did?
Yeah.
And
I made a guy tell a joke. I said, "I got to pee so bad." I said, "Can you come here and tell a joke that you never told him before?" He's like, "What?"
That's great.
Yeah.
I've had to blow my nose. That gets annoying. You know, now you're on stage and it's like, anyways, just.
I've got my dad's nose, which drips. Just
you have a drippy nose.
Just like, come on. Middle of it. Cocaine.
So you somehow got your father's cocaine nose.
Your
dad did cocaine, and so then you got his nose.
My dad. My dad, that's funny.
So you don't
think
even
about your parents doing stuff like that. It just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
I don't even know how my dad picked up my mom because I've talked to him and I can't even get directions off him. You know what I mean?
Oh man, who knows? It's always sad to think like maybe what if your parents settled? You know, like what if mom settled for dad? You know,
that's
what
hilarious.
if dad's a rebound? You don't even think that because it's like your parents. Do you really not eat Hawaiian pizza anymore?
I don't eat Hawaiian pizza.
That was the last
Serious.
Hawaiian pizza
That
you've
was
ever
the
had.
last Hawaiian pizza.
Your wife wouldn't get you Hawaiian pizza. She knows
no
that.
way. There's no way. Like what? I'm not that. Not that. I'm sure I've never told her why.
Yeah.
I didn't ever think of it.
Yeah.
Until you said, "Hey, do you have a birthday story?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, that Hawaiian pizza thing." Yeah.
What? We'll finish with this. What's a great birthday that comes to mind? Is there one?
A great birthday.
Yeah. Anyone that maybe you got your visa, you're 14, you got your dick sucked or something like.
That didn't happen.
That didn't happen.
I'd have to be probably 30 before that happened. I was a very late bloomer.
Is nothing coming to mind? That's okay if it doesn't.
Yeah, I just never. I enjoy birthdays.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll tell you my favorite birthday that I thought about the other day, and it wasn't that I was my favorite, but I guess it would be.
Yep.
Is my wife flew my best friend down from when I was a kid.
Oh, that's great.
And then picked me up at the airport, and he was in the house, and I walked into the house, and my buddy was sitting there.
Oh my God, that's great.
But it scared the shit out of me.
Right,
you know, like
right,
because
right.
your head just doesn't wrap.
Yeah.
That quick. You're like, why are you here? Why is somebody in my house? What's going on?
Right.
Yeah,
And so then you guys had the weekend together.
Yeah, we hung out. I took him paddle boarding, and because it's November, so he lives in Edmonton now, which is cold.
Oof. Yeah.
Cold.
Yeah.
So he came down and he's like jumping in the water
loves
because he
it.
thinks it's warm, and we're all looking at him like he's an idiot. So.
Ian Bagg, where can everybody find all of your information?
Well, you can either go to ianbagg.com or you can go to Ian Bagg on Twitter, which is basically mostly Republicans telling me I'm a homo. And then
Twitter is losing its mind right now, isn't it? No, I feel like everybody hates Twitter.
I end my show with, "Hey, can we just think about just be nice to somebody."
Yes.
Before I say it's a difference because everybody's yelling at strangers.
Yes.
So they just call. I said, "Lead with your name. Hello, I'm Steve. You're a homo." You know what I mean?
Right,
It's just
say
so
that.
much easier.
Yeah.
Right. But they're so angry.
Yeah, people are mad now.
Facebook's a little bit too, but I just don't deal. I'm just like, if you put hate on my Facebook, I just delete. I just get rid of you. I like Twitter. You can.
Are
hate
you
me all
tweeting a lot of political stuff?
Some.
I don't remember that. Yeah, but
I just find it's a weird time right now.
Yeah.
And as soon as green cards people got stopped, I'm just like, I gotta.
Yeah. Well,
they're coming for me next.
Yeah, and I don't think they will. But the fact that we're even having this discussion is scary because they shouldn't even be
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't like that it's being run like a dictatorship right now.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like, you've got the House.
Yeah.
So why don't you just come up with these ideas and send them through the House because they're not going to fail.
It does seem weird that he's signing all these executive orders when he has the support of them.
Yeah.
So like what you're saying is just do it that
just
way.
Do it so people feel a little. If more people are on board with it, more people will be more comfortable with it, even though some of it isn't right.
Yeah.
But it's and you'll know when your people turn against you, it's definitely not right.
And Trudeau could not be more opposite.
More opposite.
His whole cabinet is like it's a perfect whatever the percentage demographics of the country is what his cabinet is. It's like unbelievable. And he looks like a male model. And he's like,
our defense minister wears a turban.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine that down here? There's just no way. And he was in our special service forces.
Yeah.
And did Afghanistan 4 times and stuff like that. I think though I don't know.
Would you ever go back to Canada? I love Canada.
I do.
Entertainment is of all
not
things.
For this.
Of all things, stand-ups. Some great stand-ups have come out of Canada, but if you want to make any real money, right? Don't you have to get the fuck out of there?
Yeah, you gotta get out of there. And I know they'll hate this, but I don't. I think the right ones have been left behind, to be honest with you. Canadian comedy's got this thing where they can take a day to get to a punchline. I'm just like,
that's not how you do comedy.
Circling the airport, man.
Yeah, that's not how you do it.
Yeah.
So okay, Ian Bagg, Twitter. What else? Facebook.
The Facebook is Ian Bagg Comedy.
Oh, gotcha.
And Instagram is Ian Bagg, which is going to be mostly pictures of my dogs, which is Lou and Pearl.
A lot of dogs.
Ian Bagg comedy, because there's a guy rides bikes in England who is Ian Bagg. He's got that one, and he hates me.
He does. Maybe we should troll him. IanBagg.com, though.
IanBagg.com.
Okay. Thank you for sharing your worst birthday.
Thank you for having me, buddy.
Right.
I am so happy to be here. You don't understand how happy I'm. Like,
what, just to get out of the house?
Kosta asked me.
Yeah, that's nice. Well, our friend Chris Denman put us in touch. All these years, I didn't have your fucking phone number. Can you believe that, Ian?
Now we're friends.
Now we're friends.
I'm going to invite you to parties.
Yeah, invite me to parties. Ian Bagg, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm going to tell you a story off stage about you. You're going to like it.
Bye, everybody. You want